Hi everyone, and welcome once again to TDL Live. I'm Ryan Ritchey, Adam Ford with me. Greetings, sir.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing well.
It is Monday, April 28th, 2008. I did have to check that on my menu bar on the Finder in Mac OS X Leopard. Just proving that we are running Mac OS on this MacBook, which, by the way, is not necessarily the case. I don't know if you saw the shots on Engadget of the podium where Mr. Ballmer, Steve Ballmer from Microsoft, was giving a presentation. Lo and behold, it's a MacBook.
Of course it is.
MacBook Pro.
Of course it is.
But, you know, it may have had XP. I don't think he was using Keynote. I could be wrong. Actually, it would have Vista, I suppose. Well, nobody's using Vista. First of all, birthday wishes, pulling a Willard Scott here. This is the part of the show where we want to send out birthday wishes from Smuckers, but we're saying happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, iTunes Music Store.
How old are you today?
How old are you now? 5.
5. This many.
Turn the big 05 and 10 million song catalog at this point. Now you remember.
Been around the block once or twice.
You remember back when they launched this thing. Let's just say there was not 10 million songs.
Do we have a time machine effect? Like
no. All right. Venture capitalists, if you're out there, we could use the time machine effect. But you do recall, I mean, the selection I think was like 200,000 songs or 300,000 songs. And I found 2 or 3 that I actually liked, and I would enjoy those, and that was it for about 2-3 years. But now, 5 years. It's hard for me to believe that it's already been 5 years.
Yeah, it seems like it hasn't been that long.
And to go to being, you know, the #1 music retailer, or #2 arguably in the United States in just 5 years.
It's impressive.
It's very phenomenal. Yeah. And it's even harder for me to believe that we're only in the 8th year of iTunes.
Is that right?
That is 2001. Check your Wikipedia, never lies.
I might have to.
It's the same entry where I learned it was the birthday today. So there you go. We're nothing if not finding good sources. So happy birthday to you, iTunes.
Happy birthday.
Blow out that candle. Make a wish. I hope it's for no DRM on the music, but we'll see. We'll see what wish.
I hope for an explanation on the movie star.
Oh, you and your rentals and buying, and you can't tell which is which. Okay, so moving on. Our other big news today: Apple released new iMacs, upgraded iMacs, same form factor. You can now, on the high end, get a 3.06 gigahertz.
It's a lot of gigahertz.
Intel 2 Core Duo. As a matter of fact, it's the most megahertz you can get for under $3,000 from Apple. You would have to take the tower, and it ends up being like $44.99 with the 3.2 gigahertz chips there.
Yeah. Yeah, no display built into the side of that either.
Speaking of displays, you remember the whole dithering lawsuit?
Dither me this.
That was a good blog entry.
I do remember. Over
on the blog. But I should kind of save this for lawsuit of the week, I guess, because do we have one?
You better jot this down.
Oh, geez. This is lawsuit of the week follow-up. But basically, some people have pointed out that the 20-inch iMac description now is curiously absent of the millions of colors description, which is at the heart of the whole dithering lawsuit. So
is the lawsuit about the labeling on, like before you buy it, you can look at the box? Because then when you go into the control panel, you have the option of millions of colors. So did they reword that as well?
Well, no. What's going on is it's not. It's a matter of whether the hardware is showing millions of colors.
Right. No, I understand.
And it's not. It's not on the iMac. It's dithering.
But the hardware, like it doesn't like say like etched into the hardware that it does that.
No, it's just basically the marketing. Here's one.
Right.
For those of you who go back, let's go back to 1999, and I know this one well because I was a victim of this.
Good time for a time machine.
G4. I had a G4 tower. And this would have been OS 9.1 days. And this was the unit that allowed you to watch DVDs. However, there was a little bit of a hiccup, and the DVD would come out of sync every 7.5 minutes.
Oh my.
So the only workaround was to hit the space bar, pause, and start playing your movie again. Now, this is similar to the dithering because Apple, the marketing was, hey, this is a DVD player. When in reality, yeah, it was a DVD player, but it wasn't really functional. So what they're saying is, yes, you're showing me all these colors, but you really aren't functionally with the hardware showing the colors. So millions of colors is still an option because software-wise, it can show you millions of colors,
right,
but the hardware side can't. Can't do it. So anyhow, it's missing, as is Lawsuit of the Week, but that was pretty darn close to one, so we will count it.
If any of you know of any new lawsuits or lawsuits that have had follow-ups, feel free to shoot us an IM. We will gladly add it to this week's Lawsuit of the Week. And you can do that AOL Instant Messenger, TDL Live, iChat, TDL Live as well.
Or you can send an email, feedback@thedigitallifestyle.tv. And don't forget, you can chat with each other just by hitting the chat button. For those of you watching us on the homepage, thedigitallifestyle.tv, click on chat. You can chat with each other, and as I always like to say, we can't see it.
We can't see it, but it seemed to be a big hit last week.
It was a big hit last week. And by the way, thank you everyone for tuning in for Ellen Feist's movie Bed and Breakfast. And if you go back and watch all of the footage leading up to that movie, we never said it was good. So I don't want anyone to think we misled. I don't want to be the Lawsuit of the Week. We never said it was good. We just said it was a movie and Ellen Feist was in it.
And she was, and we did show it.
We did, and everyone had a great time in the chat room, and really kind of took it in the right spirit and enjoyed it.
Definitely.
So, thank you for that, and we're going to try to have some more fun events coming up. But throughout the day, stop in the chat room and chat with each other. And don't forget, the player for the channel is embeddable onto your own page, your own MySpace or Facebook.
Yep.
Or if you have a blog or whatever you want to do, you can put it right on your channel. Don't send people to our site. What are we going to do with more people? Really? Send them to your site by putting the channel right on your site.
And link to our site. That'd
be even better.
Yeah.
Every show, by the way, now I break a pencil. The stress, I pop one of these things off.
It's pretty stressful.
So, okay, we've got new iMacs. The prices remain the same, the low end $11.99. Other than that low-end computer, all the iMacs come with at least 2 gigs of RAM standard, finally. I think it's about time.
Can I go and pick up one of the older ones at my local Apple store? Older?
Not anymore.
By a day?
For those of you who haven't been in the Apple stores lately, it used to be, you'd be able to go in and get the older model. If you asked, it wasn't like, Crazy Steve, look, we're slashing prices.
Right.
2 gigahertz, $9.99.
It's all gotta go.
It's all gotta go.
No, they didn't do that.
They didn't do that. But if you ask, or if you were a little hesitant on the price point of the new machine, then they put, well, we have a few of the old one. Let me talk to the manager. See if you want the rust protection on the the whole car thing. But not anymore. All of that inventory now goes back to Apple and ends up in places unknown. Through other channels, not through the Apple Store. You used to also be able to get open box items at the Apple Store.
Not anymore, though.
So this is one place where visiting a local reseller might help you. I know several local resellers that have open box items and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And they're generally a little more flexible, too.
Okay.
Apple's very rigid about how much a refurb will be and that sort of thing.
And maybe if you're a local seller and you're watching and you'd like people to know about it, send us some feedback at thedigitallifestyle.tv.
Sure.
And we might be able to get something out there for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So there you go, iMac refresh. Now, for the bargain hunters out there that are looking to purchase a machine, perhaps from Apple, the introduction of the new computers means a reduction in the price of the refurbs you can buy online.
Oh, so I can get it online, though?
You can get it online,
okay.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, right before we went on the air, you could get a 20-inch iMac, sir, $949.
Whoa. It's like it's free, almost.
24-inch for $11.99 from the refurb store. So, many moons ago, with the G3 iMacs, there was always an iMac at the $999 price point. There was something magical about having under $1,000, you could get an iMac.
Right.
Now, we seem to be locked into these price points. Features are added, there are upgrades, but the price doesn't come down at all. Do you think $11.99 is okay for the low end?
I don't know. I haven't bought a desktop in I don't even know how long. So I don't know. I'm not used to spending less than that because I'm getting a portable, so I kind of expect that sort of price point.
Fair commitment, isn't it? Desktop, you're kind of locked in.
You're kind of locked in. You can't sit on the couch and do the TV and the laptop thing. If you have a iMac, you kind of could bring it with you.
Sure. Get a 24-inch iMac. It can be like a bedroom TV or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of thought on it.
Well, I think for consumers, it's okay because, as you're saying, and even if you look at the product mix, so many more people are now going to laptops, to notebooks.
Yeah, it's way more popular.
But I wonder about the education market, where you're always up against, the low-priced Dells, let's say. How do you compete with a Dell when Dell might have a box that's $700?
Right.
And this kind of goes back. It can get to the whole thing about, does there need to be a lower price tower? But separate from that tonight.
Right.
Maybe the iMac should be at $999 or an education model, kind of like when there was the eMac.
Well, you can still get your education discount, so it's not necessarily a model. Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe it should be a little less expensive for the lower end. I don't know.
Okay. From the chat room, Daisy72 has the lawsuit of the week for us. Thank you, Daisy.
Very good.
It turns out that Apple has been, a complaint has been filed against Apple regarding a patent for flash drives. This is one of those deals where, they kind of round up everyone. Someone has a patent, and basically anyone that uses the technology gets involved. And you know how many flash drives Apple makes.
Well, they don't make any flash drives, but they do have flash-based
and technically
devices.
Apple is involved because of the dock connector in this particular case.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting.
This is what hey, folks, we're hearing about this lawsuit as you are because it is TDL Live. But at any rate, we'll be sure to add this to the show notes, and you can check it out.
Yeah, check it out there.
Lawsuit of the week saved. Saved by a viewer, no less.
We appreciate that.
We certainly do.
So it was interesting to note, one of the viewers also commented that you can't take your desktop into the bathroom with you. So I guess you could, but that'd be a lot of dedication. You're really setting up shop, so.
Best viewers in cyberspace.
Better believe it.
Right here. On the digitallifestyle.tv. Okay, so we had some 3G iPhone rumors. Oh, what are the chances?
Yeah.
This week
That's refreshing.
There was a hubbub that, oh my gosh, here's some pictures of it.
Yep.
It's a little bit thicker, it's black, it's glossy. This is the iPhone of the future. And in my head, I'm thinking, would they really make it bigger, thicker, shinier?
It seems like the wrong way to go entirely.
Yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it turns out that this might be a big oopsie. Oopsie, because the purported spy shots, I think this broke over on Engadget, the spy shots that were supposed to be of the 3G iPhone were in reality pictures of simply a case for the current iPhone that just started shipping in China.
Oh.
Now, but there aren't any iPhones in China.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
I wonder where all those unlocked iPhones are going.
Right out of the factory door, right around the corner. I'm just saying. Okay, we also talked last week about Apple picking up PA Semiconductor.
Yes.
In a purchase, and there was some speculation. Oh no, what does this mean? They were kind of making a competitor to the old PowerPC chip.
Right.
Goodbye, Intel. Is that what's going on here? And some people have offered their thoughts on what's going on.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a whole lot of speculation on the reason for the purchase, and some people thought that Intel's going to be replaced, even though they just spent all of this time and money and effort to
There's not going to be another
the switch
chip
to
change.
Intel, then to just switch to something else. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Then there's which is what I thought. I thought that they were going to, employ some of this power-saving technology in portable products. That maybe a more powerful chipset for the iPhone to handle all of the developer apps and stuff like that. Which still, to me, still kind of makes sense. And then there's also been some speculation about they just need the people. That it was, it's almost like a recruiting technique where they've bought the company. The people now work for, they still work for PA Semi, but they're Apple employees.
Right. It's a nice way to in one sweep get everybody in under the roof, because if you start if you start one by one trying to bring them on and all that stuff.
So I mean, you basically bought up 150 employees with this know-how and all of this all of this chip technology that's up here, that can then work with companies like Intel to drive better the better products and maybe products that are specific to Apple. Which will give them an edge over the competition, not just having what everybody else has.
Sure. Well, the Wall Street Journal actually, well, they didn't interview Steve, but apparently a blog called the Business Technology Blog. Very...
okay. It's catchy.
The Business Technology Blog, which is then quoted by the Wall Street Journal.
Oh, I know that one.
And now we quote the Wall Street Journal quoting them. But anyhow. I think only the Wall Street Journal loses face in that chain. I think we're good in the blogging technology. But they talked to Steve Wednesday after the analyst call, and they asked him about this acquisition
what do you have to say?
PA Semi. Well, Steve, of course, always with a flair for the dramatic, he said, quote, "We have a great partnership with Intel. We expect that to continue forever."
Okay.
We expect that to continue forever. That is one infinite loop right there.
That is, sure is.
And I can't think of another rocky relationship the company's ever had, personally. So I think that could be true. They say that Jobs went on to say they acquired it mainly for the chip designers, and suggested they will rely on PA Semi's expertise primarily for portable electronic devices.
Right, which makes sense. I mean, that makes sense to me, and even though they're calling out that they want the expertise, it kind of comes with the package. You bought the company, you get all the assets that come along with it, which is the people, which at the end of the day are making the stuff and coming up with the technology. So yes, it comes along with it. I think the application is clearly for portable devices of different kinds.
And you're speaking about the people and how important they are to companies like this, and that reminds me, this is a good time to mention that for a long time in Apple's history, the deep, dark years, the dark ages, the folks who really kept them afloat were the very passionate Mac users, many of which started Mac user groups.
It's true.
And so
a lot of them out there.
Across the country, they started to sprout up. A lot of them in the early 80s, mid 80s, and talk about a different environment, because you think then you're buying, say, an Apple II or an Apple IIe, and people are working together. How do I program it?
Right on the edge there.
I'm trying to figure out how to do my bills on this thing. And you fast forward to today, and there's a bigger installed base, by units at least, than there's ever been. And these user groups are still out there. And it's interesting to see how they've morphed. Yes, there are some groups that still focus on the older hardware, but at the same time, there are groups getting together. Well, how do I, make a photo book, an iPhoto, or that kind of thing. So, and we've been reaching out to a lot of those user groups, and I wanted to say hello this evening to the Charlotte Mac Workshop. Hello, Charlotte Mac Workshop. They've been kind enough to add a link to us on their homepage. So anyone watching in North Carolina, in the Charlotte area, I'd suggest you check them out. It's charlottemacworkshop.org. And I personally think you could see a resurgence in user groups in the next few years, because again, there are just so many people that are buying Macs for the first time, and might like the camaraderie of the groups.
Yeah, I mean that, and I have a question. I can pose it to the group and see who can come up with an answer. I mean, it's an alternative to your one-to-one now.
Right.
What is that going for $100 still?
One-to-one is still $100.
$100.
99. They would say at Apple 99.
Whatever, $100. So yeah, I mean it's a nice alternative for people to come up with some stuff and for there to be an expert in something that can help other people. I think it's nice. So
we certainly hope we would encourage anyone out there that's in a user group. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any video you've shot, maybe some tutorials or special guests you've had at your meetings, we'd love to put that on the channel as well. And again, hello, Charlotte Mac Workshop. charlottemacworkshop.org. You can check them out. Let's talk hogs.
Let's talk about them. Let's talk it.
I know one that, according to analysts, is a bandwidth hog.
That's called BitTorrent, right?
No.
No?
No, I'm talking the Edge network and the iPhone.
Is a hog?
It's a hog.
Get out of here.
I know. This is what happens when you create a product that people want to use.
It hogs.
It hogs.
You know what? If Wi-Fi were more unified and together, maybe AT&T would realize that.
Or iMacs.
Yeah.
I know we have a contingent of iMacs fans out there.
There are a contingent of iMacs fans.
Pro iMacs.
Yeah. So, it's interesting because if you go to the blog, you'll see I have an article about some airport Wi-Fi and some frustrations with AT&T not recognizing that I'm on the iPhone at the airport. And wanting me to pay for that.
And very calmly explained, by the way, your frustration.
Yeah, so it's very, very level and not opinionated at all.
No.
But no, but I mean, they're kind of like, if this is true, and that people are taxing the Edge network to its end and hogging the bandwidth and everything else. Maybe it would make sense to recognize these devices on Wi-Fi networks that you own, so I don't have to do that.
Right.
So.
And along with that, the whole thing of routing the calls as well, the whole VoIP thing, it really helps everybody with the congestion if you get rid of that, or just build out the 3G and later networks. The thing about this was from analyst Shaw Wu, who has followed Apple for quite some time, and the point he's making is that they said in the study they found that iPhone users are consuming, quote, well over 100 megabytes per month, compared to BlackBerry users who use around 10 megabytes per month.
Well, that's because the internet is garbage on that.
It's 10 times more usable on an iPhone. I have used it on a BlackBerry, and
it makes sense. This makes perfect sense to me. I don't think anybody should be surprised about that at all.
But they are the point he's trying to make here is he's trying to tie this to product sales, and that this could, quote, limit the elasticity. I'll edit that. Oh, it's live. Oh, nuts. Of adoption somewhat. Now,
what does that even mean?
I don't know. Because if you have more kids, they'll fight over the phone. No, but it doesn't make any sense. It's like saying, a certain beverage is so good that people are going to buy more of it,
even though it's slower.
And so it could hurt refrigerator sales because there's not enough places to put the beverage.
But it's not like we're running.
You can tell I didn't practice that one.
We're not running out of Edge.
We're on the edge.
We're not running out of it. When was the last time you ran out of Edge?
Well, I don't know anyone who...
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know anyone who sits at home and watches the marketing for these different phones and then goes into AT&T and says, I don't want to get that iPhone because I understand I'll use it a lot.
Yeah. I don't know.
BlackBerry, people use it 1/10 as much. Why don't I?
Right.
Why don't I go with that?
1/10 is usable. I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand that at all.
Well, I am. Oh boy.
Are you?
I am.
Oh boy.
We are running low on paper. One thing to mention here: Adobe today discontinued GoLive. Show of hands.
No!
Who uses GoLive?
Crickets. Do we have a cricket sound effect?
Again. What have you seen the budget?
All you VCs out there,
Jeez.
We need a cricket sound effect and a time machine effect.
If you would like a cricket sound effect, take a moment to click on the donate button below the player, and hopefully we'll try to get a cricket sound effect for the next time we need one. But at any rate, Adobe GoLive, which essentially is a Macromedia Dreamweaver
that I've heard of,
competing product, and now that Adobe has purchased Macromedia and they continue to integrate the products, it's so long GoLive. Now, some of you who may have started on GoLive, you may have known it as Cyber Studio, which is dating itself right there.
I did not know it as that.
It was one of the first WYSIWYG, which means, come on,
what you see is what you get.
Web editors, and Adobe actually bought GoLive Systems, which did Cyber Studio, in 1999.
And so, SKU stands for?
Ship Unit.
Stock Keeping Unit.
Stock Keeping Unit.
Come on.
Thanks for the throwback to an early March show, for those of you who aren't up to date on that. Let's see what else we've got. Don't forget the blog. You can check out all the latest videos there. We've got a whole slew of new iPod game reviews. People can't get enough. They say, when will there be more iPod game reviews? And I say tonight.
Tonight?
There are 4 more.
Sweet.
As we speak.
Nice.
And this week we'll be wrapping up, and we will have video reviews of every single iPod game. And
it's a complete catalog.
We're the only place you can get that.
It's a complete catalog right there.
We may even go beyond the games. We might review the Kaplan SAT test software.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
Kaplan, a donation might help.
That's going to be edge of your seat stuff right there.
So we talked about some things from the past here. GoLive. We mentioned the Mac user group started in the 80s. I mentioned G4s and OS 9.2. But following tonight's show, we're going to go back further than that.
There's further than that?
There's further than that. Before, Adam, before you were even a zygote.
Okay.
Wow.
It's pretty far back.
Wow. Oh, that's more awkward silence. Anyhow, before then, before Apple existed, before Microsoft
what are we going to
get? I'm building up to something here. It's finally on a...
Sorry.
That's all right. There was UNIVAC, or as the man says in the video you're about to see, UNIVAC. And UNIVAC was designed to essentially be a computer for business. No, stop. I'm working hard to get some credibility with the user groups, and you just got to take us down to a vacuum level. Anyhow,
it's called UNIVAC.
Yes, because the vacuum.
Give me a break.
Anyhow, UNIVAC was sold to insurance companies, schools. Rand used it mainly because they developed it, and it was used for payroll and that kind of thing. So we're going to take a look at the old-timey instructional film about the UNIVAC.
Nice throwback.
So that's what's coming up.
Cool.
Again, don't forget to check out the blog, thedigitallifestyle.tv. Click on blog.
New installment of From Within the Loop, From Inside the Loop.
Inside the Loop, and I understand you have a new segment that will start this week.
Yes, it will. And we'll start this week. Mind your business on a Mac.
MYOBOM. You can put an A in there. See if you can make it make a word.
I'll try to do that.
Okay, you work on that. Folks, if you have a word to suggest...
Be kind.
You let us know. That's going to do it.
Or not.
I think that's going to do it for this week's show.
Alrighty.
I'm just going to go ahead and cue up the clip if you have some thought. I'd like you to work on some poetry for this section.
Poetry?
Whenever you know.
Well, yeah.
You have to film while I go and do some technical
right.
stuff.
You'd mentioned that before about doing some poetry. I'll figure it out. Figure out some poetry.
Maybe
we
some
appreciate
hold music.
all the comments this week and the lawsuit of the week savior. That was very nice, and in fact,
Adam will personally thank you for that.
Yes, and don't you have something to cue?
I'm queuing.
And
oh, you've lost your train of thought.
I have lost my train of thought. It is gone.
I do want to remind everyone that they can. If you're watching us, and we're not live, if you're watching us through syndication this week on Rever or AOL Video or any of the places where our videos are found, please feel free to still interact. You can send an email to feedback@thedigitallifestyle.tv, and we'll be sure to cover it next week.
Yeah, let us know how we're doing. Definitely want to hear about it. Oh, and in fact, if anybody sets up shop in the bathroom with your desktop, please email us, feedback@thedigitallifestyle.tv. We would love to know about it. Photos are not necessary, but that's some serious dedication. I mean, I've heard of optimizing your time, but
yes, you've heard of optimizing your time. You were saying
I've heard of taking advantage of every split second of time that you have, but that's some serious dedication, and it deserves a shout out. So.
And if you do have it in the bathroom, not only do we not need pictures,
we don't need pictures.
We don't need to see your level 2 cache.
We don't need to see that either.
All right, we'll see you next week, everyone. Bye-bye.